Last September, the city of Baguio played host to the Indigenous Peoples Assembly, the first of 3 regional events initiated by the Senate Committees on Cultural Communities and Climate Change in preparation for the National Indigenous Cultural Summit. This first assembly was organized for the cultural communities in Luzon as a venue for hearing the voices of the indigenous peoples and to gather their urgent concerns which our committees shall strive to champion and uphold in the halls of the Senate.
I hope that this gathering will be an opportunity for all of us to look at ourselves, to look at the Republic Act 8173 and see how we can work together to maximize its implementation for the benefits of all of us IPs, whether rich or poor.
In addition to the more obvious and protracted issues of ancestral domain, cultural integrity, health, livelihood and education, the Assembly also raised the growing concern on environmental degradation and the impacts of climate change, which has been further aggravated by irresponsible mining operations.
This attempt is to bring back to the fore that climate change is something that the indigenous peoples have lived with for so long. We know when the wind changes. We know when the rain falls too harsh. We know when there is something calamitous that is coming. But we have to be left in our ancestral domains.
In this assembly, we wanted to know straight from our indigenous brothers and sisters the concerns of their respective communities and of cultural communities in the Philippines as a whole. We needed to hear from them if the programs of our government and the laws we enact are relevant to their special needs, particularly in preserving their culture and traditions. The enthusiasm showed by the delegates in expressing their opinions and concerns was as encouraging as they were enlightening.
Ito ay simula lamang ng ating pag-uusap, which hopefully will lead to action and implementation. And this is so significant because it is the first, and whatever we gather here, we will actually use as a model in the other regional assemblies. It is our hope that this exchange of ideas, experiences, and struggles be a beginning of a meaningful and effective dialogue.
Ako ang ginbong at sakalibungan. Bonsai lang kalison ang akong naguman. Sari-sari nga gusto ang aking mga duda.
Recently, Iloilo City played host to leaders and representatives from indigenous cultural communities from all over Visayas and the islands of Luzon, who came together to lend their voices to a regional consultative assembly on issues that directly affect the preservation of their cultural heritage and the survival of their communities.
Inaanyayahan natin si Ginoong Federico Caballero upang magbigay ng bansagi sa naluwan.
Bilang simbolo kaamon tumandang na kultura, si Senator Loren Legarda, ginahingaranan ko kay Huyong Adlaw Dulpaan, labaw sa kadilikanan, si Panganang-anangan.
Yung Adlaw Dulpaan, ibig sabihin parang araw na kubikinang at lalong nadagdagan pa ang kagandahan at tumataas ang pwesto sa kagamhanan, sa power. No? Ang pangalan nito ay piling-pili ni Mang Pedring, National Living Treasure Awardee for the year 2000. Once in a blue moon, the binukot, a well-loved daughter, no, is shown to the public and is adorned with accessories. So, Senator Legarda, you are now a beloved daughter of the Panay community.
Matagal ko na yung advokasya dahil nakikita ko, we are who we are because of our indigenous people. Ang inyong po mga tiyan, ang ating Gamaba Awardee, ang inyong mga beadwork, ang inyong mga textiles and traditional attire, ang inyong traditional food, your rituals, your own language, your basketry, your arts and crafts, your indigenous knowledges and practices, your indigenous environmental practices as stewards of nature. All of these must be preserved.
The Visayas Assembly brought together the IP groups of Akyanon Bukidnon, Ati, Iraynon Bukidnon, Panay Bukidnon, Bukidnon Karulano, Bukidnon Magahat, Ata, Bukidnon, Eskaya, Badjao, Batak, Palawan, Tagbanwa Kalamyanen, Tao Buwid, Tadyawan Mangyan, Alangan Mangyan, Buhid Mangyan, Hanunuo Mangyan, Bantuanon, and the Sibuyan Mangyan. One of the most urgent issues raised by their delegates was the need to harmonize conflicting policies and programs on land ownership, leading us to strongly urge the Department of Agrarian Reform, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples to harmonize conflicting policies and programs on land ownership that go against the spirit of the IPRA law or the Indigenous Peoples Rights Act of 1997. The road to progress and sustainability for the IPs may still be long and arduous, but engaging in dialogue and consultation are precious steps in the right direction, bringing governance to the grassroots and promoting people empowerment in its most basic and effective form. The assembly in Mindanao was attended by our brothers and sisters from the Badjao, Subanan, Kalibugan, Yakan, Bukidnon, Umayamon, Manobo, Matigsalog, Higawnon, Mandaya, Bagobo, Bagobo Tagabawa, Mansaka, Dibabawon, Ata, Sama, Manguangan, Balaan, Tagakaulo, Tiboli, Arumanen, Kulamanen, and Teduray communities.
Siguro, pare-pareho naman nating mapapatunayan na pagdating sa pag-aangat sa kabuhayan at pangangalaga sa ating kultura, marami pang kailangang gawin. Kulang pa rin ang access ng mga katutubo sa medikal na serbisyo at pati na rin sa edukasyon. Kailangan pa ng higit na suporta para sa pagpapaunlad ng mga lupaing ninuno at pagpapabuti ng kabuhayan ng bawat katutubo. Layunin ng ating Regional Assembly ito na bigyan ng pagkakataon ang mga katutubo para maiparating ang mga bagay na ito sa mga kinauukulan. Ang assembly na ito ay magsisilbing mekanismo para palakasin ang tinig ng mga lider, katutubo at ang bawat katutubo na 15 million sa Pilipinas.
We came to this assembly not only to speak, but most of all to listen. And in this peaceful dialogue among stakeholders, seeds of mutual understanding and appreciation were sown, sometimes even beyond the need for words.